The past year has brought a reckoning for big business in the US and beyond. In the face of pressure from Black Lives Matter protests, corporate giants, including Adidas and Pepsi,
Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Paul. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Hi, what's up?
Great. So more people are coming in, but before we
get
started, we'll just play a video on.
You know, I have a class of 9. I have a class after this.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram actually.
Yeah, 900 people are waiting for me by 7 p.m. So hey, it's been an adventurous day. I just finished a 5-hour sales training. Now I'm jumping onto this.
Wow. No,
so this is gonna be 50 minutes of power. Huh?
I said you're doing amazing.
I'm trying. It's not easy. It's trying to make my dreams come true, man.
It will happen. I mean, you're already there.
All right. I'm coming. Let me change my t-shirt and then we start. Oh boy.
Hi, UB. Thanks for joining.
Hello, good morning. Last training. So please, whatever you're doing, minimal.
Hi, UB. Okay, welcome back.
All right, everybody. Let's go.
So yeah.
Am I the host? Am I the host?
I made you a co-host so you can turn on your video and stuff, so you have some control.
Okay, let's go. Showtime, baby. Let's go. Get some money.
I want to
close some.
But this guy is effective. I want to play.
Showtime, baby. Who's ready to make some money?
Nice to meet you guys.
I don't like entrepreneurs. I don't want to create. I don't like to make money. I don't know. There's so much money in Nigeria, man. Look at Florida with $1 billion, man. Yo, pay stack $200 million, man. I did a training for a company today. They said their turnover was 106 billion in Nigeria. Whoa. Wow. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. In the midst of the pandemic, people are cashing out. They didn't put a gun to somebody there. They sold. So let's go.
Okay. So let me just play the video. Sorry, I'm still trying to just admit people. Let me play the video now, and we can get started.
Brilliant. Wow, this is
That's
so
just
cool,
a
man.
video showing, traction
Thank
and
you.
the business of traction. So yeah, our host is here officially, and we can kick things off. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shay, for putting this together. And many thanks to Paul and Ubong for joining.
Thank you.
My name is Dolakwani Jube. I'm one of the co-founders of Traction. Starting Traction wasn't, to be a tech bro. It was because we're very passionate about SMEs and growing SMEs, right? But before I even go further as to why we're doing this, maybe we start with the speakers today, Ubong and Paul. Ubong, maybe you go first and introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi everyone. It's actually fantastic putting a face to the name. Although I'm not seeing the face of the host anyway, but I think it's really awesome and good to be here. My name is Ubong Davis Ita. I'm the CEO of Kobo Accountants. I'm working on a couple other projects in the tech space. I like to call myself a tech accountant because I'm a very techy person, but with a lot of accounting in my background and all. So I think for my life's work, it's always been trying to automate the financial space as much as possible and just break the stereotype that comes with accounting. The entire process flow, accountants really get caught up with process as against trying to get results. So I think that's been my passion for years now, basically. So that's me in a nutshell.
Great. Thank you. Paul, over to you.
Yeah, my name is Paul Fo, and thank you guys for having me. First of all, I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
I'm a sales coach and trainer. So I run an education technology company called the Sales Factory Africa. So basically what we do is that we do sales training, and we used to do recruitment, but we've removed our focus on that. And so it's education, but sales education for small business owners and big business for their sales teams. So I walk around two walls. I just finished doing the sales training now for a bank for 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours on sales. That's a bank that do like 200 billion naira in revenue. Then I'm talking to small business owners. I play on two walls, and I have a paid WhatsApp group, 2 paid WhatsApp groups that are running as we speak. So those are basically what I do. I'm an author. I've written 7 books. My latest book is called Irresistible: How to Attract Paying Customers. So yeah, been married for 13 years to my best friend. I have 3 kids. That's my biggest accomplishment. My first son is 12. Second son is 11. My third son is 8. I'm a family guy. You can see. I love my kids and my wife, man.
I love it. No, I love it, man. Thank you so much. And honestly, heard so much about you guys. I've followed you guys. I think Paul, for one, we've been trying to get you on to do something with us for a very long time. So it's really, really good to have you guys. And so the question is, why are we doing this in the first place, right? I think, when anyone talks about sales, I think that, there has been a strong focus on B2C in that how do you sell to consumers? But I think, a lot has been overlooked in how do you sell to SMEs? And during the pandemic, first of all, like, where are these SMEs? Everyone, when it's B2C, they talk about Facebook, they talk about Instagram, they talk about, all these things, but where do you find SMEs? They could be on Facebook, but I'm very sure it's not the same strategy. I think also during the pandemic, it was important that, and where, my understanding is that SMEs, require face-to-face engagement, and with social distancing and, everyone working remotely, that was very tough to do. So that was the second reason I thought this was very, needed session to have. The third session, the third reason, essentially was, we are a platform that is very focused on SMEs, right? And as we have partners who are essentially what we call distributors, and the idea, and it's been interesting here in the different ways that they engage with SMEs, but a lot of people, and we just realized that that there isn't that level of specificity in like how do we pull all of this together. And so what we have done is pull two people who we feel in their own right have basically been able to engage SMEs as customers and as service providers, and also I believe have coached people and taught people on how to do this. You guys are respected in your field. Coaches look up to you, Paul. Entrepreneurs look up to you, Ubong as well. People who are trying to move into either independent accounting or set up their own platform look up to you guys. So, which thought it was very important to have an opportunity to do this. Thank you very much again. So this is going to be a very interactive session. I'm going to ask you questions and for the next 30 minutes, and then open it up to folks in the comment section, and then hopefully we can wrap up at the top of the hour. So I'm going to start with you, Ubang, right? And what has it been like working with SMEs as a professional, but also as an accountant? What would you say the journey has been? What has the learning for you been, and how has that changed over the last year with the pandemic? Over to you, Mbong.
Okay, so two things. How has it been? I mean, starting out with SMEs and then the impact of the pandemic on the SME space, basically. When we started our cover accountant, I think it started off working with a lot of startups. This was, I think, late 2016 when I left the public sector and the corporate space a bit, and I started working with tech startups. But I then noticed that a lot of the tech startups suffered because they were not getting the kind of support that the bigger firms that I worked with had at the time. With my company back then, we were having meetings every other day. We're brainstorming on solving the challenges that were in front of us every other day. But I noticed that the average SME, doesn't have access to that. So you have the business owners just thinking through things on their own, trying to manage everything on their own. And I noticed that, if SMEs were not given that right support, chances of them, migrating into or transitioning into being what they potentially could be was totally eliminated. That was fact. Also, secondly, I think the second thing that really drove me was also the fact that with SMEs, it's almost like having a clay and water situation where you can then hold what you want to create. But the bigger firms, because of the culture that has been developed over a period of time, it's always really difficult, influencing and creating the change that you potentially would want to. So I noticed it was an opportunity for me to take my ideology, me and some of my co-founders at the time, and then make an impact on that space. So the question was, how do we take this big idea, this really expensive idea? I mean, coming off working with consulting for government and all that, how do I leave all that huge money and then take a service and then break it down and sell it to the SMEs at their own price point, so they could afford it. So I think that was about one of the early things that we had to figure out. So the plan was, okay, let's go pretty low. And then over time we'll figure out what works. Let's gather data and then communicate, get feedback from the business owners, and then understand the space, see if the idea will even work in the first place. Because I mean, there are a lot of challenges. I mean, somebody opening up their records to a total stranger, right? It was weird because I mean, sometimes I noticed the first time signing up from Sokoto, I can't forget that experience. And I don't think we've ever met till today, actually, And that was about, I think, our first year, towards the end of the first year. It was really exciting for us, we're getting things done, and then the trust factor. People were willing to open up their books, and then allow you work with them. So those are some of the things that I think were really interesting when we're starting off. And then we had somebody from Australia, we had somebody from the US, we had somebody from the UK. I was like, okay, something is working here. So yeah, it was really fantastic to start out with. But working with SMEs, you're working with a lot of like low structure. It's pretty much an unstructured environment. You still have people that are not really savvy when it comes to business. They don't have the exposure. Most of them have never worked in a management level position, and I mean they are saddled with the responsibility of making decisions on a daily basis. And it's really funny because sometimes a big company like Coca-Cola could be going into the same space with an SME.
Sure.
And they both, they're dealing with the same variables and they have to make the same decisions, right? And you have these guys with that kind of team, and the SME, I mean, it's just down there alone, no managerial experience and all that stuff. So one of the things we tried to do was set up our service to not just support, but also try to fill in those gaps beyond just accounting, and help these businesses sort of grow and get out of the space they find themselves. So I think that was about it. The pandemic did on a number on a couple of people, but I kind of I would say it was good and it was bad. Good in the sense that most of the things we have been talking about before the pandemic, putting in the right structure, being a bit more careful with your finances, discipline, not taking things for granted. Culturally, an average Nigerian, I think, always believes that money will come the next day. I don't know how that works, but it's something that is embedded in our subconscious. God will provide. So accountability is not really up there for us. So one of the things that the pandemic did for a lot of people was to show them that you could go maybe 3, 4, 5 days, 1 week, 2 weeks without any money coming in.
Sure.
So it puts you in a position where you understand that you have to manage your resources better and you have to be better accountable. It was bad for some people, but I think I'd like to take away the positives, in that situation and say that for me, the pandemic was an opportunity to re-strategize. The pandemic was an opportunity to reposition. It was an opportunity to be a bit more accountable. And, I think ultimately to be a bit more deliberate with, my business, basically. Yeah.
Very helpful. There are a couple of things that you mentioned that we'll come back to. I think I like the point around, support. And a lot of this guy, it's not about selling a service only, like, the pitch. It's about post that acquisition, how do you support? I like that. I think, there's another point around, the work to get your first, and then obviously do good work, and then it starts multiplying. And I think, Paul, I'd like you to speak to that and how you started. You basically you possibly did sales, in a company, and then you branched out to start yours. How was that journey? And over the years, what has the core learnings been so far? Yeah.
Now, my backstory is very, very different from Ubong's backstory. Totally different. This is a cocktail of backstories that we have in here, right? I've never worked before.
Oh shit! Okay.
Wow. Never. Like seriously, dude, never worked before. I used to hawk recharge cards on the streets, man.
Oh.
Yes. I want that to sink into all people that are listening to me. I used to like those guys that you see when you're driving your car. That was me. That was me. So when I say that you can sell your way out of lack into building a business, I'm not joking. It's real. Sales is I call it a redemptive skill. It's that powerful. If you can sell, and then you can get people like Uber to put structures in your business, you fly. Uber, when I got an accountant into my business, look, my life changed. When I put those structures, forget. I can sell. but I'm not good with the administrative part. So it's good to do that self-analysis as an entrepreneur. You are not good in this part, delegate it. Pay someone to do it for you, so that you can focus on your core area. Because if sales is not bringing in the money, then Uber has no job. Uber has no job. So at the end of the day, to me, sales is very, very quick. And a lot of small business owners, I've got to tell you, bro, they have this mentality whereby they wait for the business to come to them. I give you an example. I went to get a new pair of loafers last week. I wear only tassel loafers and Oxfords. Those are the only shoes I wear. Tassel and Oxfords. They're very casual, and so I can wear them with my suit and my jeans. I love it. So I went to get some new pairs, and I asked the guy that owns the store. I said, "How do you get your leads or your customers?" He said, "I wait for them to come." Whoa! something was getting angry in my spirit. He said, "Okay, I just wait for them to come." I'm like, whoa! It reminds me when I was a little child. My mom had a store. She was selling clothes. She would dress up, make herself up, sit down in the store and wait for people to come. The world has changed. Nobody's going to come to you. You have to be on the offensive. So there are two ways. You can either bait the customers to come to you, or you go on the offensive. There are two ways. So you can put out great quality content, information that educates people first. And then they go like, "Oh, this guy sounds interesting. Let me ask for more inquiries." So you are a bait. You pull them like a magnet. Your magnets must be so compelling that they want to speak to you. That's the baiting part. But on the other one, you've got to also pick up the bloody phone and call. The telephone is one of the most powerful sales instruments in the world when Alexander Graham invented it. If you can walk the phone, and today everybody has a phone. And I tell salespeople all the time, customers don't pick up phones that don't ring. Ah, my goodness, you don't hear me though. Customers do not pick up phones that don't ring. So if you're not working the phones, I mean, you look at some small business owners, the people that they do business with throughout last year, they don't even have a database to say, okay, give to their new staff and say, call everybody, because there's a lot of business from your existing clients. Oh, no. So it must be a priority that if I don't hunt, we don't eat. Yeah, so all this structure is important. Account is important, because if you only manage what you currently have and you're not working or getting new stuff, very soon you get angry with the accountant because there's nothing for him to do. He doesn't want him to do.
No, Paul, so I imagine, maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So, your journey, possibly you were in sales and you were selling products to individuals.
Yes. Yeah, I was selling books from office to office and selling recharge card.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And then you moved in, you started your coaching business, right?
Yes.
I
was reading the books I was selling.
Love it.
I saw a guy selling books in traffic. I said, dude, I was like you, man. You are not reading these books. He said, I said, you don't read this stuff, man. How can you be selling something that has the potency to change your life? You are not even touching it. You just want to survive for today. You ain't serious. You don't know what you're talking about.
So how did you grow? So your coaching business, you had one business client. How did you grow that? How did you get that first client? And how did you grow that to where you are now? Very interesting. When you are training to Jumia and all these people, awesome. How did you grow that? Yeah.
Good. So my first major client was NMPC Hospital. My first major client was the NMPC Medical. Ask me, how did you get that client?
That was going to be my next question.
Good. Brilliant question. Now, here's the thing. I used to have a newsletter. Forgot the name of the newsletter now. So then, I'm in my 40s, so you guys are way younger than I am. So you are more techie than I am. But I've done a lot of work to level up, to level up, in terms of, so I cannot call myself a digital immigrant. I'm a digital native. I'm a digital native, big time. That's what's up. So now, I have this newsletter. I will go to the printing store. They will print it. You know what I used to do, Dolapo and Ubong? I will go to small businesses. I'll tell them to place their adverts in the paper. That I don't sell the paper. It's the adverts that I use to print it. Now, when they place the advert, because there was not much traction, I will tell my friends to call them. I say, I saw your advert in this paper. So we used to drop it in grocery stores. Then the medical director of NNPC Medical, somebody read it and said they used to have on Wednesdays, knowledge sharing Wednesdays. So someone else said, you need to invite this guy to come and speak at a knowledge sharing Wednesday. My brother, they got me in to speak for 25 minutes. The moment I entered that institution, I didn't live there for 10 years. They kept giving me job upon job. Will Smith said, if you live ready, you ain't have to get ready.
Love it.
The problem is that these guys, they don't live ready. That's what they say, it's village people. If you live ready, you ain't have to get ready.
So I think that is amazing, and I still see a connect between what you're saying and what Ubong is saying. And yes, it could be a support, and maybe support could be there, the very tangible stuff. But from your own point of view, Paul, there's this knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to even take that to everyone else. We have vendors that work for our company, and to be very honest, I am not taking someone that's just telling me something that cannot tell me, why and how it's going to work, and over the next 2 months, what I should be expecting from leveraging the product. Yeah. And so your support could be continued expertise. I'm guessing your support could be the actual doing the work, right, and going deeper in that, right?
Yeah.
And so you stayed with NNPC Medical for 10 years. How did you build on that?
Goodness. Yeah. So here's the thing. The medical director just said, this gentleman is on fire. Then I was teaching customer service, not even sales. It was the hospital. So you need to pivot. I was teaching just customer service. If I ever wrote a book on exceptional customer service, so they will buy the book in bulk and give it to everybody. And then something else happened. Every Children's Day, they have what they call healthy lifestyle program. So all the staff, they bring all their teenage children together. They use a big stadium. Then they invite them to come to motivate the kids to live your dreams. That was another stream of income for me. So that was how I kept building. But if I had to do it all over again, that affected me more because I focused on one major client. And if I had to do it all over again, I would get someone like Ubong on time. Yeah. So those are the two lessons. So from there, the word began to spread, and I began to build on it. So
how would you advise? Let's look at the whole. Ubong, please, you're gonna chip in with your own personal.
Ubong, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's look at it from the whole state. Paul, I would like you to set the thing. I know there are different steps of the sales process. There's the prospecting, and
there's prospecting, there's qualifying, there's presentation, there's closing, there's handling objection, there's follow-up. Yeah.
So as a service business focused on SMEs, right? How would you basically advise? What are the tips on all those stages that you advise? Because this is different from selling to consumers. This is SME.
Yes.
So, and how would you, just walk us through that process, and what are the, key tips across those stages? Yeah.
Okay, let's say Ubong. Ubong, can I use you as a case study? Is that okay?
Absolutely, sure.
So you do accounting services, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Good. So let's say Ubong now. The first thing Ubong has got to establish is what is Ubon's marketing and sales process. Now, marketing is not the same thing as sales.
True.
It's not. To my own definition, according to Joe Polish, marketing is everything that you do or say that triggers a person to want to have a conversation with you, either on the phone, in person, or by the DM. There's something you did that made them want to have a conversation with you. Sales is what you say when that person is on the phone with you or in person with you. Does that make sense to anybody? Good. Yeah. So the two things is this. So marketing makes noise. Marketing is a noisy younger brother of sales. Marketing is a guy that goes, oh, there's girls in our house, man. We've got all the hot chicks. There's a lot of drinks, man. Come over. You look at that? Good. So you're going to have a situation whereby your awareness is going up. Ubong should be on podcasts like what Ubong is doing right now. They should be interviewing Ubong in a lot of places. Ubong's company should be putting out content. You know that there are four, I call out the 4 E's of content. Your content must educate. Yeah. Ubong must be educating me on why it is important to have accounting processes. Ubong must agitate me. You know, there's a way you write the content, you agitate this person and say, I need to take action. Ubong should be giving me powerful headlines like 52 things that you are losing because you don't have structure in your business. You know, so Ubong should agitate me. So when Ubong puts out those things, I want to talk to Ubong's team. When I place a call to Ubong's team, that's when the salespeople start selling. Those are Ubong's inbound salespeople. Yeah. That is in-house salespeople. But then Ubong's team also have to be the guys that go out there and look for the business. So Ubong's team should be to now define with clarity who is our ideal clients. Where are they? You have to be a hunter and a bait. You must have a hunting strategy and a baiting strategy. Those are two important things. Now think about the SME traction. I didn't come to you guys. You guys came to me. So I baited you. So you get me? So you guys came to me. I didn't go to you. So you see how it works. Now the organization I did sales training for 7 hours, 6 hours a day, I went to them. Come on, I might talk to somebody. So those two things must be working. Quality content on all platforms. Consistently, not when you are happy. No, because Ubong, you must see your business now as a media company that happens to give accounting services. Come on now. Because you're not the only one doing it. Sure. All right. So as a small business, you must put on an art called marketing and another art called says if you don't have a team yet. But if you have a team, no, your marketing is important. For example, I'm doing a webinar right now after this for 900 people. It was a Facebook ad that we did. Now, guess what? If I convert, even if it's 5% of those people to buy my product, I'm going to make bread tonight. So marketing has done its job. Now I'm going to sell now. So you need both. So prospect, you must always be getting leads into your funnel. Your content brings the leads into your funnel. Or your Facebook ad. I tell people all the time, Facebook is the internet. The internet is Facebook. You don't hear me though. Facebook is the internet. The internet is Facebook. You must work it. You must understand how it works so that you can get new leads from there. And Ubong, you must have like 4 or 3 people in your team that are always making those calls. They qualify the leads and then they call. They book for a demonstration. Ubong should be doing a webinar like this with 1,000 people. Teach free, and then from there you upsell them on your packages. So that is the way, if you ask me, that is the process that I think you should be consistently doing. The biggest companies in the world now, think about it. You guys should have a podcast. Even though podcasts are not popular in Nigeria yet, I mean, the word must be going out on a regular basis. You got to educate them first before you ask them to buy. That is how it is structured now.
So, Paul, I really like
Absolutely.
that. I really like that. Ubong, are you going to say something?
So go ahead. You can say something to that.
Yeah, so I just basically wanted to add to some of the things. I mean, I've been jotting down a couple of things here. I just wanted to align with one of the things. I mean, it's obviously
sure, go ahead, Ubong. Yeah.
So for me, I think that sales. I mean, just to buttress some of the things you say, sales for me is beyond just closing on deals and and
Yeah.
literally selling. I see sales as you being a deals day. Anytime I talk about selling, I look at deals day. I remember deals day, the platform that was built.
Yes. I remember. They're gone.
Yeah, it means you have to be, even as it's a life philosophy. It's not something that even happens when you want to sell. You should literally be putting deals in front of everybody every other day. As an
Yeah.
employee, as an employer,
Mm-hmm.
the church is putting a deal in front of in your face every other day. Even
Yeah.
governments have picked up that approach and philosophy to to living. And that's one of the things we did pretty well with our accounting, because I tell people all the time that the common knowledge of accounting is that accounting is sort of a reactive type of service, or some reactive activity. Means it
I
happens
like that.
before life happens, when accounting happens.
Mm.
So you see, when you walk into an organization, the salespeople will always say, "Hey, we bring in the money," or "There's no accounting thing." So one of the things that I've done with our accountants, and we're starting off this academy coming, so it's called P&L Academy, is to try to merge that gap as much as possible. And I did a training in the north, Yola State, where I trained some accountants. I think is Northeast Hub, the vice president's project. And one of the things I can't forget that training. Everywhere was really quiet when I started talking. And I remember telling them that if you, as an accountant, cannot influence the direction of the business, if you're not influencing decisions, I can use budgeting to drive sales. Budgeting shouldn't be for just saving costs, right? As an accountant that will be relevant in the future, you should be listening to somebody like Porfo a lot, right? You should be listening to somebody that's talking about sales, because you have the knowledge, you understand numbers. Numbers are like coordinates, or like a pilot, right? It tells you where you should go to and where you should go to, which is what Porfo's accountant is giving to him now. But guess what? If that information is coming in late, if I cannot juxtapose that information with economic realities, global, issues, if I cannot advise for Bitcoin, where to put in Bitcoin, for example, the impact of fluctuations in the naira on his business. Okay, if Porfo does the business where he's importing with the dollar, impact of FX. I mean, in a very granular, simplified, type level, then I would soon become very relevant, because information is out there. You have apps that track movement of currency and movement of other economic variables per hour, per minute, per second. So as an accountant, if you cannot align with these realities and become a KPI, so normally when they talk about accounting, they now talk about KPIs within accounting. They talk about profitability as a KPI, talk about cash flow. But I tell accountants that accounting itself has to be a KPI, in the sense that if we have two companies, and what company A accounting is much more effective, efficient, and proactive, company B, the same sales strategies, the same sales team, they're pushing as hard as possible. But you have company A being proactive, collecting the right data, doing the right analysis. There's a client that we're doing stuff for recently, and I was talking to the sales guy, and one of the key things a salesperson always wants to know is, who am I selling to, right?
Yes.
How can I
Yes.
clearly identify that person? But guess what? The accountant has the data, because if I
Come on now.
optimize your software,
Come on, everyone. Come on, brother.
if I optimize how you collect data, right, I can tell you who your ideal customer is. So one of the things that we do for people is break down data. Okay, I'm selling in Lagos. Lagos Island versus mainland, who do your biggest numbers? Even within the island, which segment of the island are you running the biggest numbers? Are you selling more in Aja? Because the variables in Aja economically, right? Cost of living, the population, the density, kind of people that are accessing Aja are not necessarily the kind of people you're accessing Ikoyi. So if you're doing more Ikoyi clients than Aja clients, it means you're pushing more towards premium, right? And you have access to people that buy your products, less products and more money. So that can become your strategy if you're selling to Ikoyi people. Still on the mainland anyway. But if I'm selling to, say, more people in Aja, for example, I'm looking at numbers, Aja or Shongotedo. I'm looking at volume instead. So some of those things, can you hear me? I think I'm blanking out somewhere.
Loud and clear, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic. So I feel that if you can give people the right data to look at as an accountant, for example, I'm advising you how much you potentially can save every month, how much you potentially can invest from your cash flow, the minimum cash you need to keep to run your business, it opens you up to, liquidity to invest, liquidity to even invest more in your sales and marketing. How about ROI on your marketing and sales activity? Are you tracking that? You can be investing a lot in marketing, but the marketing is not what is even driving the sales. It could be your referral program within the business. I mean, Popo talked about your existing customer probably being your biggest market, right?
Yes.
So your marketing might not be what your new leads may not be the one using the numbers for you. It could be your existing clients. So we should be able to track that as accountants and put that information in front of our customers. That way, you can align with the sales people and be relevant going forward.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, let me tell you what my accountant told me.
Yeah.
She looked at the numbers last month, right? And she says to me, sir, this and these products are doing very, very well. Whatever it is that you are doing, double down on that. So that's the power of an accountant. She's a strategist, but she may not even know it that way.
No, it definitely goes beyond the numbers, and I think, Ubong, you're saying so. There's a theme I'm hearing, and that is just around, for SMEs, especially if you're starting out.
Yeah.
You need to lead with information sharing. You need to know, even if you are selling an appliance, even if you're selling a software, you need to live with expertise and information sharing. But Ubon, just also from what you just said, I'm hearing a lot around referrals, which also goes back to your point around support, good support for your current customers, because they will lead referrals. But before Paul jumps in, I have a question for Paul, even looking outside accounting and coaching. But Ubon, what are those other platforms that you recommend to engage on? So I'm hearing, information sharing, via social media as well.
Don't like I have to go in a few minutes. My class starts by 7.
Okay, no. I'm right on it.
Sure.
But Ubang, just on what are those other platforms that you would encourage people to explore? Yeah.
Okay. So when you say platform, you're looking at social media platforms, digital platforms.
So I
right?
mean, yes, social media is a channel, but what else?
I wrote an article some time before, and I think I can't remember the exact title, but it said something around you're failing in your business because you're just selling on social media, and it came off a revelation that most of the time your sales is triggered by your network outside social media, and then it rings back to social media, right?
Fantastic.
So that's where a lot of people miss it, because social media runs with an algorithm, which is like life algorithm, and what it is called validation, right? You bought Popo here because he validates you, and you also validate him. It's validation. You bought me here, you're validating my idea and my concept and the things I've been putting out. I'm also validating the fact that you also have a product and a concept that is valid, sort of. So one of the things that people don't do well enough when it comes to sales is actually getting out there and making that call, as you say. marketing in the church. I remember when I go to church, I'll put on my cover accountant t-shirt and I'll stand up a lot, trust me. And you're literally, I'm in a bar, I meet somebody and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, I'm an accountant, I run this digital platform and I'm building networks. Guess what? When you're somewhere, your social media handle and then you share my post, right? We've had this happen randomly where you put up something and somebody sharing it in Kano, somebody sharing it in Calabar, somebody sharing it in Port Harcourt, somebody sharing it in the US, and they all have people that can validate that, hey, wow, these guys also, these guys also.
Want to know
the funny thing is that most of them actually have physical contact, people that have touched base with, either in the training, like what Paul is doing now, right? Or people that I have met somewhere, maybe within my estate or something. So the platform is not necessarily online. Online for me is a place where you take what you build and then you now put it on there, get validated, and then sell. Your platform is your clients that you have, the people that you live close by. I remember back in the day when we were just starting out, I don't have time for that anymore, but I'd walk into an average supermarket, 2 or 3 stores, and I'll ask them, how are you doing your accounting? Okay. What do you understand by accounting? And most of them will tell you, accountants are people where they come count my money. And I'm like, yes, that's just one part of it. Accounting is beyond counting money. You see, I'm building credibility on the street because social media brings back to the streets. Everything is basically on the street. You leave the street and you're just sticking to just social media, hunger will catch you. I know Paul didn't tell us the entire story about the GT Bank gig he had. Usually Paul will have one person inside GT Bank or somebody that knows somebody inside GT Bank, very likely, to easily close that deal because it's still about validation. Maybe somebody in GT Bank is following
yeah, you're right. You're very right. Somebody's following me. They say you need to speak to this guy. This guy needs to come in. So social media can actually validate what it is that you're doing.
Definitely.
Exactly. So yeah. it comes to who can validate you, who can validate
you. I love that.
That's really important.
Yeah, Paul, I know you have to go, and we promised, the next 10 minutes, we promised to wrap up. But someone just messaged me to say, I'm trying to start out as a graphic designer. How do I actively sell? I use social media to show some of my projects. I have a website, but how do I actively sell? Paul, how would you, 3 big things you want to tell this person?
So I want to piggyback on what Kubon is inferring, if I'm right about it, that everything is not only about social media. So if I'm that person, you go to a church, you probably go to a church, you probably live in an environment where there are stores, there are shops around there. Why don't you start with those people, meet all of them and say, you know what, I'm a graphics designer. This and this is what I can do for your business. You have to craft the value and say, you know what, if I design your website for you, it will increase the number of people that get to walk into the store here. All right, so you start with the people in your immediate environment first that know you. Now, when one person gives you a job to do and you do a good job, that becomes a testimonial that you can carry on to social media. So when you're calling another company in the same industry, say, you know what, I helped Dolakos company build their website. And from the time we built the website, the website visit rate has gone from 10% to 30%. That's gone from where we have the data. Yeah, it's gone from 10% to 30%. So you have proof, and based on that, they have closed 1 or 2 other sales. So I think you should start from where you are first as you begin to consistently build. Because if you want to come to social media, you have to be consistent. I put out content every single day. It's not once in a while. It's not going to cut it. The algorithm favors that level of consistency. The algorithms are programmed. The algorithms have a goal. Yes, and they keep changing the algorithms. All right, so you need to be ready for it. If you're not ready for that, you need to take a chill pill and start with your current environment first. I gotta go, man.
All right. but thank you guys. Ubong, if you can stay with us for the remaining 10 minutes.
Can I say one or two things if that's okay with you?
Please go ahead.
I know that we spent just a few time here. I told Dolak about this before. If you want to really learn selling, get a copy of my new book, Irresistible: How to Attract Paying Customers. The book is 8K, but I'm giving you guys a discount. You can pay $5,000 for it. I put up a link in the chat box. Click on the link if you want to develop yourself. Look at my bookshelf. I read like a madman, and that is the only way you can really excel in this world that we're living. So click on that link, get Irresistible, and then if I see your email, I'll send you another free gift on how to make money from Instagram, because I make money from Instagram every single day. So get that, and I'll get you a free book. So I've got to go, man. Thank you so much for having me, Ubong. Thank you, Dolakpo. Have a fantastic evening. God bless you guys.
Yeah. So thank you, guys. One of the things that we thank you to our speakers. One of the things that we are passionate about is I think a lot of people who are here, they are accountants, they are independent consultants, they are coaches, or trying to launch their business, all engaging the SMEs. As we shared in the beginning, as an Traction Apps essentially is a solution and technology for SMEs, and that essentially a one-stop platform for SMEs to run their business. And we have essentially aggregators to card payments, to bank transfer, to USSD, and even now with QR code, we are bringing that on. And in addition to that, business management tools, the point of sale, the products, customer management, all on Traction, available on web and mobile. Ubang, you might actually like this. We have also integrated to QuickBooks and integrated other accounting solutions. As a lot of our merchants use that and can also now report and do the reconciliations easily. Why am I mentioning this again? We are launching our affiliate program, and this is for everyone who has a network of SMEs that they sell to as customers and looking to make additional revenue, but also looking to bundle their services, their current services, and find more value-adding solutions for their current customers. And we will just share a quick video on what it looks like, and we'll just send a link after. We'll send a link in the comment section for a way for you to sign up, and let's just get this started. So can someone just launch the video and yeah. Just give us 2 minutes. Rather seconds. Can we start the video again? We can't hear the sound.
And your pending earnings. Here is a step-by-step video on how to sign up for the Traction Partnership Program. In order for you to sign up, you need to input your personal details, including your first name, last name, email address, password, as well as your location. It will also ask you for your bank account information so that we know exactly which account to pay your money into. We'll also ask you a little bit about who you are, and then you're set to sign up. Now that you are signed up and logged in, you'll be taken to the dashboard page. The first thing that you will see is your total earnings and your pending earnings. you exactly how much you have made, and the pending earnings show you how much you are owed. Scrolling down, you will then be able to see the performance tracker. The performance tracker will show you exactly how many referrals that you've made and how many active merchants you have referred. Following this, you also see the referral fees for each of the different types of terminals that you can refer. You have Android, which is 5,000 naira. You have Linux, which is 3,500 naira. And then you have the MPOS terminal, which is 1,500 naira. On the right-hand side, you can also see your referral code displayed. You are able to quickly share this code via Facebook, email, and Twitter. Alternatively, you can just choose to copy your referral code and then share it that way. Scrolling down, you can now see the sign-up earnings and the transaction earnings. The sign-up earnings show you the earnings that you should have made for each of the terminals bought by the merchants that you have signed up on TractionAds. You'll be able to see the merchant name, the number of terminals bought, the earnings that you should expect from signing up that merchant, the terminal sign-up date, the merchant status, whether they are qualified or not qualified, and then the payment status, which tells you whether you've been paid for that specific merchant. On the transactions earnings side, you are able to see the merchant name, the terminal sign-up date, the payment status, and the earning status, which tells you whether the merchant has made enough transactions for you to earn a payment or not.
Thank you very much, guys. The link, we will send a link if interested, but essentially, at ease, you have referrals of folks who need, the software. Could be your current customers, it could be a friend. You can use, you can sign up onto our partnership platform, and we'll be in touch. You would have a referral code, and once customers download the solution or start using the product, you start getting paid. I think it's one of the easiest ways to make to make money, and one of your easiest side hustles ever. So thank you, everyone. Ubong, a special special thanks for gracing us with your presence, and hopefully that we can find more opportunities to collaborate. So yeah, we'll send a link to sign up, and once again, thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, cheers. Bye.